Alright, it is November, which means it is Zelda Month, guys. That's right. Now, to kick off the month of Zelda, we have a very recent game that's about to drop in just a few days, and you might already know what that is, being Age of Imprisonment. Now, for anyone who may have been living under a rock for the past few years, let me just say that the Zelda franchise is no stranger to the Musou genre, like Dynasty Warriors, which is where one sole warrior scours the battlefield, slaughtering countless random NPCs with a single flick of their weapon. And over the course of the Zelda's new open sky adventure games has bred the Age of games like Age of Calamity and now Age of Imprisonment. Honestly, I do appreciate Nintendo giving us more context on some of the mysteries of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom's lore through these games. I could go frame by frame breaking down all the juicy details of the trailers, but instead, I'm going to just focus on some of the key differences between the Age of games and why I think this one will be far better than Calamity. What's up, guys? Tactics here with another video for you. Welcome to the month of Zelda. And with that, let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Now, let's start off with the story, which we know takes place in the distant past, back during the time when the Zonai was still alive. Rauru, the first king of Hyrule, as well as being a Zonai alongside his wife, Sonia, discovers Zelda after she is transported back to the past after Ganondorf reawakens and threatens to destroy the entire kingdom in the present. Much like with Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity, these two games were all centered mostly around Link. Like, the story was literally about recovering his lost memories after being mortally wounded by the onslaught of Calamity Ganon's army. These two games were all about Link rediscovering his purpose as the chosen hero and defeating Calamity Ganon. Whereas in Tears of the Kingdom and now Age of Imprisonment, the main story revolves around Zelda. Despite playing as Link in Tears, the story element of the game was centered around Zelda's journey and her struggles in the distant past, and of course her ultimate sacrifice to return to the present day by becoming a dragon. Now, I'm not sure if the game is going to follow the memories of Zelda from Tears of the Kingdom down to the letter, since we all know that Nintendo likes to put a bit of a twist on every Zelda story. Hence is the reason why Age of Calamity's story didn't end with the champions being murked like how the story was depicted in Breath of the Wild. But because Nintendo said that this game would be canon, and even in Tears, Nintendo wasn't too shy or even PG about showing Sonia getting farmed by the King of Evil in that one cutscene. So it's very possible that the story this go around may have a more melancholic ending compared to Age of Calamity. And even though that is something that I'm kind of hoping for, I somehow still doubt that Nintendo would follow through with that. Once again, we see Ganondorf playing to his strengths by conjuring these malice-filled monsters, each equipped with the powers to essentially take out the sages. And as we know from the memories of Tears, the combined forces of the 7 sages were still not enough to outright defeat Ganondorf. So in an absolute final desperate attempt, Rauru had to seal himself along with Ganondorf away for many long centuries. I think once again the mission will be to seek out the help of the other major races, appoint them as the champions, or in this case the sages, alongside a few other important characters to form a massive army to combat the invading forces of Ganondorf. It makes me wonder though how the Gerudo will play a part in this, since Ganondorf's attacks do start from the Gerudo Desert. Is he forcing the Gerudo to fight in this war? Well, I think so, since in this short clip we see what most likely is the Gerudo warrior chief lady fighting Rauru. She will then later go on to become the Sage of Lightning and of course the chief of the Gerudo to help bring an end to Ganondorf's tyranny. Personally, I think the story is going to be massive and shed a lot of light on just what went down all those years ago during the imprisoning war. And the fun part about it all is that we know next to nothing about the imprisoning war. Despite the sages telling Link the same story 5 goddamn times in Tears of the Kingdom, they only spoke about not being strong enough to defeat Ganondorf. They got their cheeks clapped and then talked about the powers of the secret stones, and that was pretty much it. So how the story will pan out? Well, we'll just have to wait and see for ourselves. Okay, let's switch over to the gameplay. Once again, this being a Musou game, slaughtering countless enemies is, well, the name of the game, using some flashy moves, switching between normal and heavy attacks, and then there's also the new counter-attack moves to use when a strong enemy performs a specific attack. Much like how Link could use the different tools of the Sheikah Slate to hit enemies with bombs or use the monster's metal weapons against them with magnesis. This helps drop the stagger meter down faster for a powerful attack once it's broken. Then of course, characters have their own unique moveset and skills that make each character different from the next. However, I do think most of the sages will play somewhat similarly to the champions in Age of Calamity. Like, you've got your heavy hitting Goron, the sword and shield techniques of the Gerudo, the fluid movements of the Zora, the agile attacks of the Rito, and etc, etc. Of course, this being a Warriors game, we can expect plenty more playable characters than the main roster. And with so many characters to choose from and fight alongside you, brings us to the new synchronized attacks that I believe stems from one of the newest Dynasty Warrior games, at least I think. And this attack in a nutshell is when two characters combine their powers together to unleash a devastating attack that does massive damage to the enemies. With so many characters in these games, we can expect some pretty crazy combos like Zelda and Raru's humongous Ki Blast, or Minoru's Construct getting a power boost from Zelda's light magic. Fighting together with your allies will play a much more prominent role in this game than in Age of Calamity, in my opinion. Also, I just want to point out that in this game, Zelda literally has a freaking lightsaber, which I find to be extremely badass. Like, I know this is her story and she kinda did need a weapon that was going to allow her to be able to move and be more aggro, so seeing her using something like a sword just really makes me see Zelda using some sort of weapon, or maybe something like daggers in her own game, or her and Link teaming up together in one of the mainline games together. I still think that would be such a cool concept to see her just doing something like that. But overall, seeing her using a lightsaber with her own light magic is just such a great idea. Finally, we've got the different Zonai tools that characters can bust out to do elemental damage to foes. Attacking certain weaknesses helps knock the stagger meter down even more, alongside attacking certain enemy weak points like climbing on the back of a Phrox and wailing on the ore stuck to its back. Overall, there really isn't much to say about the gameplay. It's a Musou game. You'll be racking up a kill count so high, then turning all of that into XP to level up your characters and rinse and repeat. Either way, if you were a fan of Age of Calamity, then you will most likely enjoy this game even more, since it should no doubt run more smoothly on the Switch 2. Yeah, I don't think this game is getting a Switch 1 version, so that's a bit unfortunate, but I guess I understand, since there really is a lot going on screen in these types of games, so it makes sense for it to need more horsepower, I guess. And last but certainly not least, there's also this mysterious, not so mysterious Zonai Construct warrior that shows up at the end of the trailers. And well, let's be real, it's a Zonai Construct of Link. Like, damn, this man just got to steal the spotlight some way or another, doesn't he? But no, in all seriousness, it would have felt kinda strange to not have my boy playable in some shape or form. Now, there is always a chance that this is not exactly Link. It could be someone operating him or piloting him like a mech suit, but that's just speculation. Either way, this game is shaping up to be another banger for the Warrior series. And even though other franchises have had their rendition of a warrior style game, there's always something about Zelda that makes me think that it's just done the best compared to other spin-off warrior games. Like, I would even say that the Zelda franchise does a better Warriors game than even something like Fire Emblem, shockingly enough. But what do you guys think about Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment? This game is just a few days away, coming out on the 6th of November, and personally I thought it would be a fantastic way to kick off the month of Zelda for my channel. So will you guys be getting Age of Imprisonment? I feel as though I have to get it before the year is out since I still need the Switch 2 and all that to play it. I mean, this is kind of my job and hobby at the same time for me, but still I need to hop on this pretty soon. Alright, there you have it guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if so, be sure to smash that like button for your boy and subscribe to the channel for more RPG related content, and of course more Zelda Month if you haven't already. If you just can't wait for more Zelda goodness, check out this video right here for more awesome Zelda videos if you haven't seen it. Either way, I appreciate you guys all the same, and with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.